Castigators are bracers, and they're a healing item. But most importantly, you get the hammer fist out of there, which is part of the family thing for melee characters. Very, very good set of gloves. Right, so we did that. So that's all good. Now my old friend Calpuniac, I'm sure you two got on famously. It does this old dwarf good to see my friends become friends. I don't think we'll need to worry about Master Vaunt much longer without a manufacturer having a leg to stand on. I'm sure I can bring down Vaunt. It seems others beside myself have been pondering how best to deal with Mr. Vaunt. You might talk to Jix Bormar. This fellow comes to know some things that will help make you very happy indeed. He puts on a brave face, but Vaunt is teetering on the brink of oblivion. Perhaps you can give him a small push, Sulykka. Talk to Jix. Jix over here. Oops, sorry. Let's try that. If it isn't the Outlander, you know from me in a hole in the wall, but I know all about you. People tell me things, you see. Important things. Important people, too. One of those important people told me something I'm sure you'll want to know. It seems Mr. Lucian Vaughn needs to raise a big pile of cash quickly. To raise that money, he'll be sticking his neck out. Way, way out. In my neighborhood, when someone sticks his neck out, well now, that's when you get to run to get your knife. Interested? And just how is Neck sticking his neck out? Vaughn will be giving a speech to the city's nobles and best. Rented out the Skyway Odeon. He's calling it a gala event, but he's already just begging for their money. Here's the twist. A little bird tells me that he doesn't go anywhere these days without dragging along that magical thingamabob, the Stormwatch beacon thing you're so interested in. He's taking it to the theater. Now then, if someone wanted to steal the beacon, well now, I say that's the perfect time for them when Vaunt's up on that stage, wouldn't you? I don't actually have an invitation to this event to give you, mine, but I'm sure that he won't be a problem for someone like you. I'll take the lift to the Skyway Odeon and wrangle my way to the theater. Okay. He's got the good hat. That's the, this hat is the, I want to say it's the Gandalf hat, but it's not the Gandalf hat. It's the Elminster hat that came with the Menace of the Underdark expansion pack. And it's one of the things I regret I don't have. Anyway, so we'll go to Skyway Odeon. So, remember, here's Lady Thora Tavin. House Darkonnen sends our regards. I've arranged for someone to meet you inside the theater. Look for a man wearing a red cloak. His name is Kane, and I'm trading the favor he owes me for the one I owe you. He'll be at your disposal for the evening. Who is this guy? A man who knows how to pull his own weight. I do so love a well-dressed, decorated veteran. You'll find him most useful.
Somewhere nearby is the Stormreach Beacon, Vaughn's protection against vengeful Forge Wraiths. The beacon will surely be under heavy guard, but that's never stopped you before. Tonight you'll steal the beacon back from under Vaughn's nose, and if you do it right, no one will be able to stand in your way.
Cheap tickets to any seat, balcony, orchestra, mezzanine. So who paid you to steal tickets from the Aurum members and only Aurum members? Alright. Let's continue. So when we come, there's people, like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, look, a man in a red cape. Call me Kane, Mullen Kane. Lady Thora asked me to help you with their little heist as a favor. First things first, spare me the details. The less I know, the safer you are. I work for the Citadel after all. I understand you ran afoul of another group of mercenaries. I saw some earlier. They went upstairs. I can hold them for questioning if you like, or I can get you backstage access. Just tell me how you prefer to throw my weight around. The crown of Berlin stands with you today. Alright, so what we're going to do is have him detain the mercenaries. And when I used to do this, I used to take the backstage pass. But in fact, detaining the mercenaries is best because the gnome we just saw in the last quest and the goblin we saw in earlier quests will be on the roof waiting for us. So if we have him detain them, we don't have to fight them. And that's a big deal because you don't get anything for fighting them. They're just more grief along the way. We reverse gravity and we float up to the top. Now this is one of the most irritating things in the game, are these gravity locks. You gotta be fairly careful about how you're doing it. Trying to keep to the open space as much as possible. That's about as good a job as I've ever done at running that. As you can see, the skybox is lovely. Now it's tempting to try and jump for that lift over there, but you have exactly enough to not make it. So you have to drop down here, grab this one, and then you can go over. And there are guys over there. And I'm like, no, that's a bad time. I don't want to do that. So we're gonna call our hireling over here, park him where it's safe. Everything is relative. Fire my night shield shooter. And away we go. So we're gonna say hello in the traditional manner of our people, which is a glue bomb. Multi-vial. That's the timing on it. That's unfortunate. That's that one pretty well. Love you. There we go. It's all how you hold your jaw, chat. Absolutely want to get these guys as quickly as possible. Technicians are artificers, and they are continually spamming the tactical detonation spell, for which you have effectively no resistance. It is fire and force, and it is some kind of save. Whatever it is, you can't evade, and it also has knockdown. It is really, really ugly. When they revamped the spells, they massively ramped up the damage from tactical detonation. The problem was they didn't realize it because they're like, oh, this is going to be better for players. The tactical detonation spell is going to be good. And then they realized that they have entire quests full of these guys, and they were just simply one-shot wiping entire parties because there's no resistance to that particular spell. So they had to retweak it again because it was so outrageous. And it blasts right through floors and everything else. So it was really a bad time. And it's still not great, it's just less awful. So, open that up. And we see that this guy got himself murdered by using his arcane assistant. So we open this up. And there's a restaurant in the restroom. A little chest for our trouble. Parker boy over here. So we can climb down the ladder, but we're just going to jump down the chute like a boss. As we know, chat, be a boss or don't click. Alright, so now what we got to do is a little parkour here. We're going to jump across. If we fall down, Chad,
It's a fine evening here
bad
in
things
Sharn,
happen.
says Lucien Vaunt, his voice
Bad things
brimming
will
with
happen.
confidence.
So what we're
And
trying
tomorrow-
to avoid is that.
Tomorrow will be truly beautiful. Vaunt will be talking on stage for a while. Now's your chance to steal back the Stormreach beacon. That's because tonight, the world is about to change. The people in this room are about to change it. Another announcement. On behalf of Vaunt Arcanotechnic, it is my pleasure to announce a revised and perfected version of my device. Introducing the new Vaunt Arcane Apprentice. Now comes in black.
And again, rush right in the restroom. And that noise? That is the sound of a terrible time.
It's simple enough that a brute with absolutely no arcane training can use it. My charming assistant will now demonstrate. Lucy must.
Boss, we have a situation backstage.
If you please.
Man, it's got to cut. Will you listen to me?
The troll lashes. Well, clearly, smashing it is not how you get the best value for your money. But you'll notice it still casts the spell, even when misused in such a wasteful manner. Cool, unbelievable, the troll says, crestfallen.
Alright, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to take this opportunity.
Some of the new spells included in this version are locate object, for finding things around the house. Detect poison, if things go amiss in the kitchen. Minor
So we
image,
have to kill
and perfect for
Lucy
the garden.
later anyway.
Leoman's
So might
tiny
as well
hut.
do it now.
I imagine you have
Now we're going to have to do this the hard way. The standard
yes.
way
Lady in the back.
that most people do is that they come in here, and when you get right to the end, you put up a dimension door, you grab the beacon, and use
The
the
new
dimension
Vaunt
door to
Arcane
run.
Apprentice comes in
And
any
that's a
color
very
you
good
like.
strategy.
As long
A lot of people think
as
you
it
can't do that, but you actually can as long as the dimension door is up before you grab the beacon. You're okay, but you do have a pretty narrow window because you've got to grab it twice. You got to like tap it to like activate the trigger,
well,
and then
we
you've got
don't
to
cover
tap it
gross
again
abuse,
to
like the
actually
kind
pick
we
it
saw
up.
from my
And believe me, having to go back to get it when you forgot it is a very bad time. So just go ahead and not do that. That's a bad thing to happen. Alright, so I'm gonna go over here, do some more property damage because we're not learning hard enough. Now we tag the technician at the back end of the universe because he's the farthest one away.
No, of course the device has no side effects. Who have you been talking to? Every Vaunt Arcanotechnic device is built to the highest standards of quality.
Alright, that got him. Okay, so that goes very well. That can also be a massive
Let's
problem.
not perpetuate baseless accusations when we should be discussing the device's many
I always
uses
grab
instead.
every potion of invisibility
Yes,
I can.
the
They are
Warforged
valuable.
in the back.
They have their uses. So let's see.
It works underwater up to the depth of 25 fathoms.
I'm just
It
gonna
is not combustible,
sell
though I
it right
should
here.
warn you. Submerging it in hot
it's
magma, covering it in
simpler.
acid, or otherwise disassembling the device will nullify your lifetime guarantee.
And because of the way
The
this
cost
works,
of the arcane assistant
so what's
is
going to happen
within the
here
means of
is
most
I'm gonna
working
open this
people.
up.
The arcane
gonna be a
apprentice
monster box.
is tries to appeal to a more select audience. And of course, the troll-proof adamantine cover costs a bit extra.
What we're trying to do is connect this grenade to the back. And as you can see, one of the problems with the precise shot is the angle. So you That's one of the reasons why half-life is preferred for some of the range classes, because the angle for improved precise shot is so much better, because it angles up instead of angling down, which can miss, as you saw there. Alright. So again, I'm going to soft heal myself. It's a very tedious process, I find. So what happens is we immediately... Come on. Beacon's field of protection against the unspeakable. The storm's beacon is sheathed in a field of magical energy. Is this sorcery protecting the beacon, or is this protecting the world from the beacon's power? Disabling this contraption will be easy enough, yet you hesitate for a second. What will happen to the imprisoned forge race you saw on the way here? Yet this is no time for doubts. You have traveled hundreds of leagues and fought countless battles to get here, and now the beacon is within your grasp. Reach inside. What's the worst that can happen? Whoopsie.
What's going on?
And this is like...
Lucian Vaughn
Now I
crumples
grab
with a cry of anguish on
And
his
that is
lips.
almost exactly
He died
enough
as he
time
lived,
for you to
spectacularly.
jump through the dimension door. If you put it up just before you reach in, and then you put it in just before you reach back, and as you can see, they have immediately murdered my hireling. Because what's more fun than getting jumped by 10,000 things? Fun and challenge, chat. Fun and challenge. So that is exactly what happens. And that is why people detour out of there. Because again, and there's not much we can do about it, because we're going to have to slog through that. And that's not even the worst of it. But the good news is that because we took the opportunity to have him clear out the mercenaries on the roof, we are not going to have to do that again. So at least we'll have to fight fewer of them, not... Alright, so the rest of them will have just simply retreated down to the basement. See, this is one of the things that's very frustrating. Like, most of these guys are actually beat half to death, but doesn't, you know, a beat monster does exactly as much damage as an unbeat monster. So, go ahead and fire and heal. You actually can't pull this Undead Artificer. And of course that flame, it looks like the Scorch spell, but it is in fact not. It does evil damage as well as the standard fire damage. So you get that, all the joys of that, as do their Scorching Rays. Again, it looks like Scorching Ray, but it is a Scorching Ray that actually is doing fire and evil damage, so you can't evade all of it, and it doesn't matter because Scorching Ray has no save. Why are you guys not playing the fortress? And where has he run off to? Oh, the AI is so amazing. Alright, so we're done with that. Please stop. Like you literally ran to the other side of the world. So we come around back here. And we are now backstage again. And we'll just come around the top and exit out of here. So this is back here and fight. Other than that, other fortress might aggro, but we're already in there, so we don't need to go back there. We just run up the stairs, and we've already cleared these guys out. Okay, tagged him with a 20. And all these guys are now gone because we did it the first time. And normally you would have to fight the Radiant Idol and Sulykka here, but they are also detained. So now the only thing we need to do is fight these jokers. And these guys are pretty grindy. They are just absolute. I suppose in retrospect that was a good chance to try my turn to frog ability. So maybe swap that out for poison breath, which doesn't seem to be doing a whole heck of a lot. So now we do have to fight these guys here. So you don't get away entirely, but you do get most of it.
You've recovered the stolen beacon. Now, to return the artifact to Stormreach, where it will once again guard the city it had protected for thousands of years.
I died once, so I paid my XP tax, and that's it. After all of that, got a thunder shot. Not terrible. Actually, a little bit more excited about that one with the resist energy on it. It's pretty handy. Alright, so we're out of here. And that was it. That was the entire second chain. So where are we at right now? So what I will do now is I will hand this in.